Hey guys, anybody out there? Today it is Thursday at 4:06. We're gonna be doing a roasted whole chicken today, and also for sides, I'm gonna be doing a baked cauliflower dish that little fruit fly around there. A little baked cauliflower dish that it's my mother's recipe from God knows how long. I've altered it a little bit, and we can do that towards the end. But for now, we're going to start this roasted chicken just to prep it, and we're going to put it in the oven, and then we'll check back with you guys in about, I don't know, probably an hour once it's in there, and try and get that started for you guys. So hopefully you guys will click on soon. So I'll wait. Let's see if anybody's watching now. I can't tell. So basically what I have here is I've got a 3-pound chicken, fresh chicken, just 3-pound chicken. Basically, hey Darius, hey Carmeline, hey Dave Hughes. So I got a 3-pound chicken here, which basically when you get the chicken, you're gonna have everything inside of it. You're gonna have the gizzards, all that fun stuff that's in there. So I've taken all that out. It's all washed, it's cleaned. I've had it in the refrigerator now for probably about, I don't know, 3 hours. I'm actually going to take these off because I'm going to actually be dealing with raw chicken. Hey, Michael Burns. Okay, so like I said, I have the whole chicken here, 3.5 pound chicken. I have the oven is actually on 425 now. And I know it's only 4 o'clock, but what we're going to do is we're going to put the chicken in the oven, and then in about an hour or so from now, we're going to come back, and we're going to do the sauteed cauliflower. I think, Dave, you've had that at our dinner parties that we have, and I think Arthur's probably had it as well. And basically, the baked cauliflower is basically going to be, it's a combination, I know it's weird, it's a combination of mayonnaise, onions, Reggiano Parmigiano, a little bit of breadcrumbs. I've changed it from my mom's regular recipe, and I changed the way I'm going to prep it. It's actually easier for people to do it this way. So for now, I have the chicken. In here, I basically have some softened butter, which room temperature butter. I added fresh rosemary, fresh oregano. I also added some salt and pepper, a little bit of fresh parsley. And that's what we're actually going to coat the chicken with. And then over here, I have also from the garden, the rosemary, the oregano, half of a small onion. And then I have some lemon, which is actually going to go inside of the bird itself. So basically, for now, the chicken, you actually want to just take your hands. And my hands are clean, obviously. I took my rings off just because. So you kind of want to separate that outer skin. Hey, Silvana, you want to separate that outer skin from the actual chicken itself, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take this butter mixture that I had made. So it's basically, it's softened butter, fresh parsley, rosemary, oregano, salt, cracked pepper, and like I said before in the Pesco posts, that Himalayan salt is actually the best thing that I've found, and the white and black cracked pepper. So you kind of want to get this into all the creases. On the breast itself, you want to get it on. I actually put a little bit more down towards the thigh and the leg of this, because it's actually going to moisten the bird as you're doing it. Hey, Misha Schultz, hope all is okay out there. And just actually, if you want, you can coat the outside too. So that's what I'm doing right now. And like I said, you know, you don't want to have on any kind of jewelry at this point, just because you're dealing with raw chicken and butter and olive oil, whatever you want to use. So that's on the outside of the bird. Now I've actually put it underneath the actual skin of the bird as well. So I'm going to put my little trusty fork aside here. Let me just rinse my hands 1 second. So, basically they say, sometimes you want to salt and pepper this bird, which you can do, or you can brine it ahead of time, just in some water and some salt, but that's already been done. That saves some prep time. So I'm going to here's the bird now, once it has all the butter and everything on top of it and the seasonings. We're going to put that aside. Okay, and then this is for the after effect. This is like just extra of the fresh herbs. Hey, Joanne. So that half of the small onion that I told you about is actually going to go inside the bird with the whole herbs that I pulled from the garden and the half a lemon. So basically, and I'm probably going to add a little bit of white wine to the actual roasting pan itself. You can use a glass roasting pan. You can use a metal roasting pan, whatever you feel like doing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to actually kind of like slice this onion. We're just actually going to just do 3 slits on that whole onion. So basically it's almost going to fan out like that, okay? So that's going to be inside of the bird. We're going to take a lemon that's half to make sure you take the seeds out of that as well, okay? This one I'm actually going to, we'll squeeze that at the end. This is the other half that I haven't done anything with. So that itself, we're going to cut this in half as well. So it's literally a half of a whole onion, but we're going to quarter that and take the seeds out of there, okay? And don't worry about salt and peppering the inside of the bird, because you have all that on the outside with the softened butter, the salt. It's all gonna seep into there. And if you want to, you can score the bird a little bit with a fork and just pierce the actual bird itself so all the juices get inside of the bird. So basically for now, we've got the bird here, Mr. Bird, and I'm going to take 1/4 of the lemon, okay? That onion is going to go inside the bird as well. And then this, same thing. The fresh rosemary and the fresh oregano, that's going inside of the bird in the cavity as well. And that last piece of lemon is going to go on. Oh, and almost forgot. Don't forget, you got to take the produce tag off the bottom of it. I forgot that part. So that goes in as well, okay? So now just take what's extra here and just rub your hands over the rest of the bird, okay? So that's all nice and covered. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's all going to melt together anyway. Then, I'm going to wipe these hands off real fast. Then I'm going to show you how I prep the side dishes already, for the most part. So the bird now is actually ready to go into the oven. I've got the oven on at 425. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roast the bird and a little bit of, just a little bit of white wine to the actual pan of the bird itself, because once the juices start coming out of the bird, you're going to want to baste this in between. You don't have to. I do. That's just what I've always done. So the bird now is actually going to go into the oven. Don't cover the bird either. So he's in there now at 425. I'm going to put him in for like 10 minutes just to get it started. Actually, I'm going to put him in for 15, just for the hell of it. At the 425, just to pump up the heat. Who else is on? Hey, Christy, how are you? So earlier I'd say when I first started, my mother does a baked whole cauliflower, which is done with basically, it's done with mayonnaise, onion, Reggiano Parmigiano cheese, a little bit of salt and pepper. I actually add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce to it too. So we'll do that because I've already kind of made it, but I'll go through the process with you. So basically what I did was, I'm changing it up a little bit. So usually I just take the whole cauliflower out and you steam it on the stove for like 10 minutes. And obviously you put the heavy side up and then you flip it halfway through and put the heavy side down. But what it is, it's easier this way. I found it now. I actually cut the cauliflower raw before I steam it. It actually, for some reason, it actually cooks it a little bit faster, and it actually makes it a little more tender. So what I've done was I did the whole cauliflower. I cut it into pieces. I steamed it for about 10 minutes, and I turn it in between. That's what makes it easier too, because everything actually steams at the same temperature. So what we're going to do is, my little Pyrex, my trusty Pyrex, I then put it in the refrigerator and I cool it. And that's whether you do it, whether it's whole or whether it's cut into pieces. Hey, Jeff Holly. And Jeff's had my cauliflower too. So basically, instead of me doing it whole, what I did this time was I steamed it, I cut it up, I put it in the refrigerator, and it's chilling. In here, okay, this is the actual mayonnaise mixture. So there's really kind of no measuring kind of thing to this. I usually start with like a cup of mayonnaise. I do a half of a large onion. And what I do is I actually score it. So when you cut it, it's pretty diced. You can make it finer if you want to. I've also used leeks as well. I actually couldn't find any leeks today when I went to the grocery store, which was surprising. So basically it's the mayonnaise. I put a cup of grated Reggiano Parmigiano cheese. There's fresh parsley in here. The salt and the cracked pepper. And I put that back into the refrigerator as well, because you can't have mayonnaise. So basically, I'm just going to combine the two of them, is basically what I'm doing. And like I said, there's really kind of no major measuring to this. It's just, you know, if you want more of a sauce on it. And basically, I'm just going to incorporate all of that. You know, it's kind of like folding a, you know, batter for a cake, because you don't want to be too rough, because the cauliflower is partially cooked at this point. So basically, that's what I do ahead of time. And then the cauliflower, when you're going to bake it, I mean, we'll come back to that when I come back on in about an hour, because I also am going to do some sliced fried potatoes on the stove with a little bit of onion and a little bit of seasoning at that. Very simple. So the cauliflower at this point, every piece is kind of saturated. So, and don't worry about spraying the pan, because you're going to have the actual, you know, the oils that are in the actual mayonnaise as well. And like I said, if you were doing the whole cauliflower, you basically, the whole cauliflower would sit in this pan, and you basically would just spread it around the whole cauliflower itself, and then put a little bit of water in the actual pan itself. But we're not doing that this time. We're actually going to bake this like a casserole. So basically, we're just going to put this in here. This is going to go back in the refrigerator until we're, you know, ready to put it in, because like I said, we have that chicken in the oven now for the 10 minutes or 15 minutes at the 425. And then we're actually going to bump the heat down to about 350 on that, because it's got to cook for at least another hour and a half after that's in. They pretty much say like, hey Mary Jo, happy belated birthday, by the way. I got preoccupied and was, hey Tom Bacella. So basically, the chicken is in the oven. It's at the 425 now for 15 minutes, and then I want to pump it down to about 350 for another hour or so. And what we're going to do is let that roast. And then once that's almost done, because it's going to have to sit afterwards, we're going to do the rest of the sauteed potatoes. So this is what the cauliflower actually looks like after it's done, if you guys can see it, since I broke it up in pieces. So it has the mayonnaise mixture with the Reggiano Parmigiano, the onion, salt, pepper. Oh, I actually did put a little bit of garlic salt in it this time, and fresh parsley. And basically this, I'm going to put back in the refrigerator, because once the cauliflower has already been steamed halfway through, so we're not going to have to cook it the whole time. And it actually cooks faster if you cut it down rather than doing the whole cauliflower like my mom used to do. So that's going in the refrigerator. So that's done. And basically, the chicken's in the oven. And what we'll do with the chicken is, after the 15 minutes is up, I'm going to pump it down to 350. It's going to cook for another hour, hour and a half, maybe. They tell you about 20 minutes a pound, which everybody's oven is different. So I'm going to I'll check it at about an hour once it's at the 350. And then I'll hook back online with you guys, and we'll finish off the cauliflower, and we'll do the fried potatoes. They're basically just going to be sliced very, very thin, a little bit of fresh onion. Oh, shit, that's what I forgot. Actually, I'll do that afterwards. The cauliflower, what I'm going to do is I actually top it off with a little bit of Italian breadcrumbs, because it actually makes a good crust on top of it once it's baked. And, of course, I have Italian bread. I had to get that. Salad, we'll probably just like a regular green salad tonight. I'll make my balsamic, my dressing. I make all my dressings myself. I've always learned that from my mom. So every now and then I'll cheat and I'll have a bottled dressing. But that's pretty much about it. Chicken's in the oven. And if you guys want to recap this and see how I prep the chicken and everything like that, you can do that. And then I will check back with you guys around 5:30. So hope all is well. Everything is good here in sunny Florida. This shelter-in-place shit is driving me crazy. It's going to be at least until the 1st of May. From what they're saying. So I will, I'll catch you guys back in around 5:30, and we'll finish off the baked cauliflower. We'll start the potatoes and get the sliced potatoes done, and get those done on the oven as well, on the stove as well. And then I'll show you how I do my balsamic vinaigrette dressing. So take care and chin chin. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ciao.